Phillies,
Here we
go
go.
Phillies, go Phillies.
Love it. Oh, hey, what's up, everybody? Kicking it stateside, back again. Always, we are on A2D Radio. We got Mr. Brian Wheeler. How you doing, bud?
I've had better weeks.
It wasn't the best, I feel like, for your squads.
No.
And
Not at
before we start, do you want to talk to the people about your wardrobe today?
Yes. So, unlike these little shit-and-natty supporters, I am man enough to eat crow when I am wrong. So, got the big orange X going over the Red Bull.
His beloved Red Bull.
My beloved Red Bull and horrible coach Chris Armas have.
How is he still the coach, by the way?
Dude, I don't know.
I know we can talk about that as we go, but Jesus.
Yeah, like we got so much show to get into, and I got my rant ready. I know our boy Sullivan, one of our new fans, was begging for. I told him he had to wait till today. So
yeah, we'll go down that whole thing, and obviously we got a full week. Tomorrow's Judgment Day here in the Prem.
Tomorrow is Judgment Day, 2020.
Judgment Day is upon us. It's kind of bittersweet, I guess.
And we just had a Judgment Day, and that's your wardrobe, and you seem to threw your jinx on a team. So
yeah, again, that's something else we can really dive into as we go.
Oh yeah,
my Nottingham Forest boys in the championship took a complete choke job, and pissed their chances in the playoffs away. But again, we'll get into that. Obviously, it was a little staggered of a week in the Prem wise, just trying to make sure these teams have sort of enough time to equally get ready for tomorrow's games. It's one of those, if you're unfamiliar with how Judgment Day works in the Prem, basically all the games are at the same time, so it draws that suspense a little bit more. So
yes, to try and prevent any corruption.
Right, which is bullshit, but hey.
Yeah.
That's another stupid story that we talked about last week. But yeah,
yes.
11 o'clock tomorrow, I believe there will be all the games rocking and rolling. It should be good. We got, obviously, the battle of relegation we talked about last week. You know, Villa, we'll get into that. They got a nice win to make their chances a little bit better. I'd say Bournemouth's in some deep trouble because they have to win and get some serious help.
Big time.
And Watford is kind of in the same boat as they seem to be sliding again down the table with, again, Hayden Mullins, my boy, as the manager.
I was so happy when I got that text from you.
I didn't know. I wasn't really paying attention to Watford sacking Nigel Pearson, and then all of a sudden, I see on the bench on the technical area, it's freaking Hayden Mullins again. I'm like, what the hell?
Maybe he'll get a full timer this time.
I doubt it. I mean,
if they could squeak something out tomorrow, that's a job right there.
Oh my God,
that's a contract.
How many freaking managers are you going to go through in one season?
5. Well, 4, 5. I said they're actually. I have to retract the statement that FC Shittinati is not the worst club in the world, and I think Watford is definitely. You got to take Watford and you got to take Monaco. Between those two, I mean, it's just
it's like a coaching carousel.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's like the quick trigger. It's like, just let him freaking be.
Yeah, so we got. I mean, tomorrow, if you really want to get into it, and I know we still got stuff to talk about, but you're gonna have battles for the final Champions League spot.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have not actual battles between two, but two teams are battling for that 6th place spot in Wolves and Spurs for that final Europa League spot.
Yeah.
And then you have the relegation battle too. So, I mean, what a day just in the Prem, not to mention all the other stuff that we'll talk about in other games that are going to be on. So, again, the greatest sport in the world just keeps packing it in.
And they did it. I don't even know how they were able to make the schedule as perfect as you can. It doesn't get any better as far as the Champions League, Europa League matchups, the battle for, you know?
Yeah,
Literally,
dude.
all the teams that are 4 teams that are playing have a chance to get those Champions League spots, and you could also fall out if you lose.
Oh yeah, and draws are going to come into play. I kind of made a little note to myself on all the breakdowns here, so when we get to that point, I kind of can give you what needs to happen for each team, and we'll go there as well. So
absolutely, and yeah, we got a bunch of Prem talk. Obviously, we got MLS is back, the Restart Tournament. We're into the round of 16 now.
Yes, elimination time.
Elimination time. First 2 games are tonight, obviously. All the Philly people out there, you should definitely tune in. Stay up, a little late night action.
Saturday night, 10:30. You'll have nothing else to be doing. You got to support your team.
Yeah. Have maybe the UFC fight on the laptop and then have the Union on the big TV because it should be a good one. They got the Revs, and again, we'll talk about that as we go, but it should be a good game.
I know our boy Tom, has mentioned before he wouldn't watch UFC, and he kind of had the same vibe with soccer, but I think we can get him to watch Union over UFC. I don't know, buddy.
I don't know. I mean, they got to be better. They got to be better than the Phillies, right?
Oh my God.
Again, that's another deep hole to jump down to.
I'm going to have to jump on another show, I think, this next week or two and dive into that one. But
that's true. Oh, Andy brought up a good point that they should be watching his show on A2D in this very ring. I apologize, of course.
Yes, you're right. We should put Andy's show on and the Union game.
And the Union on the big TV.
Fuck UFC.
That's true. My mistake. But yeah, we got
we love
MLS,
Redder. We love Redder.
Of course. Yeah, so the MLS is getting into that knockout stage. We'll kind of go down all the matchups of what's to come, make a little predictions maybe for this round, see who's going to move on. A lot of interesting matchups I'm seeing, and somehow NYCFC gets into the knockout stage, which is, again, I'll say
all Red Bull had to do was draw. All they had to do was draw.
Again, save your rant.
Well, stop getting me.
I just had to. I saw NYCFC.
No,
Jesus, that's true. I forgot they snuck in there.
But yeah, we're gonna have a nice little run of games here. Tonight through Tuesday will get us into that 8. So yeah, man.
Yeah, it's getting down to it's exciting times, and I'm sure at some point, maybe next week, we'll kind of dip into the Champions League as well.
Well, I was kind of looking at the next couple shows that we're going to have coming up. Timing is actually really good because next week, the first, you'll have the FA Cup as soon as we go off the air, which puts our 2 teams together.
Yes.
So we may have to find a way to somehow watch that together or come up with something here. And then the following week, the 8th would be, Champions League. First games start back up on the 7th, and there's games again on the 8th. So there's going to be plenty to talk about still.
Yeah, and even squeeze in that championship final as well.
Yes.
It's got to be in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. And then you have the addition of MLS coming back. They're back, but then they got to come back and actually play the regular season. So that's going to be coming up in August. So we got a lot to do here.
It's good stuff all around.
Yeah, brother.
Love it. But yeah, before we start, obviously got to give the shout out to the sponsors. Obviously, we've been talking about the Ambuck services, boys. It's almost getting into the dog days of summer here. We're about to hit freaking August already, which is absolutely wild.
Yeah.
I feel like this whole summer has kind of flown by already. Before we know it, we're going to be into the fall. And then you get those damn leaves. You got to get them now before they start mounting up and the trees start losing the leaves. And now you got a whole issue on your hands.
Yeah, and these Ambuck guys will still do it if you drag your feet, but your price is going to go up if they got to do summer and fall leaves, man. Come on.
Extra work.
Yeah, so if you get them in now and get it done, and then maybe a little follow-up appointment come in fall, you'll be good to go.
Just knock it out. Don't be a procrastinator. I know, easier said than done for some people like myself.
What else are you doing?
You're not doing much.
What else are you doing?
During this whole damn thing, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're the best. So we've been giving them love. Obviously you should have already done it. But if you haven't, visit amboxservices.com or call them 856-879-5530. Obviously, again, our boy, Dr. Paul Vidal at Specialized Physical Therapy. He is also rocking and rolling, doing his virtual consultations, living it up. He's probably got a full slate ahead right now with everyone starting to get back to work. And I know the kids, I think, Little League, I saw Tommy's team is starting to play again. So
yeah, my brother's boys were playing again too. So yep, all that's
so baseball for the little guys are starting to rock and roll. I know around me and PA, they are having a high school tournament.
Oh, nice.
Just because they didn't have the actual season, they're doing like this little summer thing. So obviously there's going to be more and more, I'm sure, work.
So all the dads out there in the rookie league ball throwing 300 plus pitches to these kids all day. You're definitely going to need to call Paul up, man.
Working on that rotator cuff, maybe a little TJ surgery. But yeah.
Let's hope not.
No. If you're 40, 50 plus, I hope you're not getting Tommy John. But yeah. So yeah, visit him obviously at his 3 locations. You got Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton, New Jersey, and specializedphysicaltherapy.com for some virtual stuff if you're not, as comfortable with the in-person visits.
Yes.
So as we get going, I guess you want to go back through this past match day?
Yeah. We don't necessarily have to
not crazy, but just
do the whole week. Yeah, quick scores on some of them. Some of the games that actually really have some implication going into Judgment Day, we could dive into a little bit more.
Right.
Obviously, there was a big one with your boys, a typical one with my boys. So yeah, we can. Let's start there. That sounds like a beautiful place to start.
Yeah, we could go through our own teams before we get into the others. Yeah, the Chelsea Liverpool game was the 8-goal thriller, as probably most of you have watched, and it just comes down to, again, this goddamn defending for this Chelsea team. Just
it's dreadful.
Pissing me off, man.
It's dreadful.
And now it's like Kepa looks just, I don't even know. I don't know if he's overhyped. He almost got bought too soon. He was too young to even go through the trials and tribulations of a goalie in the first team of a big team like Chelsea. But he's going through it because he does not look good between the sticks half the time. He's very inconsistent. He's not sure when to come off his line or not. And now it's talking about getting rid of him already.
Yeah, well, we saw it, under Sarri when he was basically asked to come off the field in a PK situation and crybabied his way and said there was a language barrier, and obviously he couldn't figure out what that means.
Everybody knows that.
It's clear that he's probably a little bit immature. If Chelsea wants to continue to be a top 4 club in England and wants to continue to have Champions League aspirations and to advance there, they're going to need to make a change, I think. I know Oblak's on their radar. Obviously, you're going to hear a million and one things with summer coming up here and the transfer windows back opening up. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I think that's definitely one of your weak spots. Anywhere in the back for Chelsea, the back 4 and the goalie all could use a little bit of a replenish, it looks like here.
Yeah, it seems like it. It's just they keep talking about getting Kai Havertz. It's pretty almost 75% done deal. But I feel like you could use that money and put it towards a defender.
Tell me about it.
Or pay, Jan Oblak's $100 million release clause. Or maybe get United, depending on what they want to do with De Gea, do they want to have Dean Henderson as a
Yeah.
starting goalie next year, or do they want to ship him out and they're comfortable with De Gea, or do they want to ship, David De Gea out and have Dean Henderson as their first team goalie?
Yeah, a lot of talks I'm hearing is they're trying to maybe bring Henderson back and run him as number 2 for one year and then make that move, but I don't know.
Why would he want to do that? He knows
Yeah.
he's good enough to be a starting goalie in the
Well,
league.
I guess it depends on how this season finishes too. If they're getting Champions League and all that, then there's more for them to play and more opportunity. But
right, but yeah, it's not great for the Chelsea defense, giving up fucking 5 goals. Obviously, Liverpool's a juggernaut, and they looked pretty good. Obviously, Alexander-Arnold had a nasty free kick there. And they got him on that counter for the 5th goal. But, it is what it is. And again, before move on, Liverpool actually got to lift their trophy finally.
They did. There was a little beef between Frank and Jurgen, too, and his boys.
Yeah, a little touchline dust up.
Yeah, Frank's got
he does need to reel it in a little bit.
He's got to reel it in a little bit. He's over there. I mean, I get it. You don't want people celebrating in your face. But, I mean, unfortunately, with the times and circumstances, Liverpool hasn't had that real opportunity to celebrate their title yet. It was their first time back at Anfield since, it was time for them to lift the cup. And they were in championship form. I mean, they were basically having their parade every time they put a goal in. And Frank took disliking to it. I guess his thing was, I guess it was some of the assistants. It wasn't the players. It wasn't Jurgen. He was, some of the assistants were getting a little nutty, and he took exception to it. But
I mean, I get it, but it's still
if you're
they were in rare form. Like, they knew that they were going to be hoisting the trophy that day, and Chelsea's a tough opponent. And you put up 5 goals or even 3, and it was a 4-1 lead.
Yeah.
So of course, yes, go ahead, celebrate. But I think Frank just something in the wires crossed when he saw the excessive celebration. But I mean,
he's a little bit frustrated. His
I think it comes down to that, because he's more mad at his own team for the past, since the restart, they've given up a shit ton of goals,
and he's got to get them fired up for tomorrow, because it's not a walk in the park tomorrow. And
no, Wolves are going to come at him full force. No, Espiritu Santo is going to have the boys ready to go.
Oh yeah, they're playing for something big too, which we'll talk about when we get to that breakdown.
Man.
Chelsea ran into a tough 2 games to finish their year. Unfortunately, they're in a spot where a couple wins or draws that should have been wins or could come back to bite them in the old butt. So,
unfortunately, you leave it to the last day. It's never a good thing.
It's like being an Arsenal fan.
Which, great segue.
Yeah.
Freaking Arsenal playing down to their competition, it seemed like. A nice loss to Villa during the midweek, 1-0. I mean, I don't know what Arsenal team shows up each week. It's just throw it out there, see if it sticks, basically, type shit.
Unless they picked up a couple extra bucks in their pocket.
Let's throw this game.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I don't like Aubameyang is not a winger. That's the only problem. I know you want to get those 3 guys like Nketiah, Laka, and Aubameyang on the pitch at the same time, but I just don't like Oba on the wing at all.
Unfortunately, moves are going to have to be made. I don't know if it's Oba. I don't know if it's Laka. It's not Eddie. I mean, Eddie's your future.
Nah, he's too young.
It's not Saka. Saka's your future. So something's going to have to give here. But yeah, Oba on the wing, it's been tried. It was tried by Emery. It's been tried, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of. It's just not his natural position. He's a out and out striker, not a guy who's going to play off the wing. because his hold-up game's good. He's not like a guy his passing is so-so.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy, but he's like a guy that wants to run in behind you. He needs the service, not him servicing somebody else. That's not that's not really his like strength. So that just puzzles me why they would run him out there on the wing. But
I mean, I guess at this point, I can't be upset with what Arteta's done with those last couple big wins, especially. So maybe it's a little experimentation. Obviously, top 6 isn't even in the cards at this point.
Yeah.
So maybe he's got to figure out what we have going forward. I hope he's figured out that defense, just like Chelsea, is going to be key to moving forward. If anybody wants to take a page out of Liverpool's book, again, we've talked about that team was good, but that team wasn't great till the defense was built. Mm-hmm. So, that's what these teams have to follow. I know it's easier said than done. There's not a lot of world-class defenders out there, but there's going to be guys coming up in the window that are going to be available, and I think it's going to be a battle between a lot of these teams to see who can get who.
Yeah, I was talking to my soccer group chat, and we were saying that there's not too many world-class like center backs like that out there, at least.
No.
It's tough to come by. And then when there is a guy maybe that has that potential, you overpay for him. Like Koulibaly is going to get a shit ton of money, I would assume, this summer, I guess, if he moves. I don't know. They've been saying that for 5 years now.
Yeah.
That he's going to move, but now seems to be a good time. I mean, Jonathan Tah, that I keep thinking of him, the big German center back on, I think he's on Leverkusen.
Yeah. He's definitely going somewhere.
Is he worth a shot to,
I mean, he's going to be one of the German starting center backs, most likely with Boateng. So, I mean, at this point,
it's just it's hard. It's tough. You
got to take the gamble. Sooner or later, you got to take the gamble.
Right. Because a lot of what, Arsenal and Chelsea have aren't good enough.
Dude, Van Dijk had played himself into form with Hampton, but Van Dijk was a gamble for Liverpool.
Yeah.
I mean, they took a big shot on him. He had a teetering. If you watch the history of his career, he had a very teetering career. He had a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah,
and he finally found his form. I mean, the thing with defenders is you're going to find a 20-year-old defender, and he's going to make mistakes because they're young, and defenders really come into their prime a little bit later in their careers.
Right.
They got to see there, be there, and I don't know. There's, like I said, there's going to be a lot of teams in the race for these guys too, not just in England, but all throughout Europe, because like you said, they're hard to find. They're really hard to find. It's
almost like again, like you said, you got to take a chance on somebody and hope you strike gold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of those. So but I mean, for Villa's perspective, huge win.
Monstrous win.
Now you're set up where you can get a point and you're good.
Yeah, they're in that safety zone, and they have the easiest game, I would say, out of all the remaining.
Well, they got West Ham, right?
They get West Ham, where Watford gets Arsenal, and Bournemouth gets Everton. So,
I mean, if the time to make Eddie Howe proud for a Bournemouth team who has really just like given up almost on him.
Yeah.
Tomorrow would be the day. If you want to save that man's job.
Southampton last week was the day, and they didn't show up.
I don't want to see Bournemouth go down, but I think their time is done.
It's pretty much inevitable at this point. I mean, should we break it down now since we're there anyway? What it's going to take for these bottom three?
Oh, sure.
All right, so you have Villa sitting safely in 17 right now. They, with that win, put them at 34 points and a plus 26 goal differential. They get West Ham, a draw or a win, they're safe.
Minus 26, but I know what you're saying.
Yes. Well, actually, I shouldn't say a draw or a win, they're safe. They need to win. They could be safe with a draw as long as Watford doesn't beat Arsenal. And who knows with Arsenal. So,
yeah. I mean,
so then, yeah, go ahead.
They're it's almost in their own hands. I mean, Villa wins, you're good.
Yeah, win and you're
Winning
safe
in,
for another year.
But
That
if you,
123 million looks like money well spent.
yeah, just that last little bit. But I mean,
but that's
if they stay up, does Jack Grealish stay?
I mean,
That's the age-old question.
He is Aston Villa.
Exactly. He's been there forever, but
it's
good
a money
enough
game
to
too.
be on a better team.
Yeah,
it's up to him.
It's going to be up to him.
If he wants to play mediocre to bottom table football on a mediocre team, then he'll stay. If you want to play with the big boys and maybe try and win a title
somewhere, yeah,
go.
Yeah. So then next would be Watford, also sitting at 34 points.
I hope they go down. I don't wish negatively on much, but I'm kind of sick of them.
Yeah, I mean they're minus 27. So the goal differential here between all three is almost identical.
Right.
You're minus 27. Again, they get Arsenal. Arsenal coming off the loss to Villa. Final week of the season. You're probably going to see a somewhat interesting squad from Arsenal tomorrow, just to kind of toy around and Arteta kind of see what he's got going forward into next year. It's a big task for Watford. And then the biggest task of all is Bournemouth sitting at 31 with the minus 27. So basically Bournemouth's only chance is they have to win. They have to win by 2 goals, and they need Villa to lose and Watford to lose.
That's a lot to happen.
Yes. Watford, on the other hand, would just need a draw and Villa to lose. Villa would need a draw and Watford to lose. So again, I mean, a lot of this is in Villa. Like you said, Villa's got it in their own hands. They got to go and they got to beat an average West Ham team. A West Ham team that before the pandemic, we were talking was going to be in this bottom 3, and with all rights. I mean, they went 2 months without a win.
Right. Yep.
So, yeah, it's all on Villa, man. It's really all on Villa. I agree with you, Watford. After what they've put on the pitch this year and how they started the season, they don't deserve to stay up.
They just don't really have. I feel like I would much rather watch a Villa game than a Watford game.
And if Bournemouth does somehow, then you probably saw one of the most exciting days of soccer you'll ever see tomorrow, because it's going to take so many moving parts for Bournemouth to have a chance. Yeah,
something must have done. Like one of those teams that they're chasing is probably getting blown out for them to actually get up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you need Villa and Watford both to lose. And lose clear of 2 goals, and Bournemouth to at least win, get their W against an Everton team that, again, has been...
They haven't looked very good either.
They haven't looked very good, but they're still class above Bournemouth right now.
Yeah.
So again, that's your relegation zone. That's your relegation battle, your judgment day there.
That's judgment.
And that's what you got to look forward to in that bit tomorrow.
There's just so much going on. I don't know. Obviously, got to watch the Chelsea Wolves, but
yes, well, perfect segue. Let's segue right into the 6-7 in the Europa. I mean, and then that'll bring us right into the top of the table. And by the way, hello everybody who's checked in with us. We've been going on and on already today, so we had so much to talk about every week, it seems like, and we keep running out of time because there's so much in this game.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even mention the poll question, but...
yeah, well, do it before we get into this.
So it was announced, I guess, was it yesterday or Thursday, that Jordan Henderson of Liverpool won Player of the Year. And we did talk about this, I think, before the pandemic. Didn't we have or maybe it was the... the mid-season awards we gave out, and we were talking about how Jay Hendo was kind of in the lead of the MVP race. And we're like, does he deserve it? I think that might have been a poll question like 5 months ago. But he actually did win. I guess he eked out De Bruyne, I guess, would probably be runner-up at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, how do you not give it to the captain of one of the best teams we've ever seen?
Right. And a poll question, I saw Greg chimed in. He has no idea who Jordan Henderson is, but that's okay.
You do now.
He does. He doesn't have the flashy numbers like De Bruyne had with the assists and goals, but without him, he's the leader of the team. If it's not Van Dijk, the leader, Jay Hendo is the guy that keeps that team together and playing well.
He's your captain. He's your captain. Your best holding defensive midfielder. I mean, but he can also move the ball on offense. His passing is unreal.
He actually did have probably one of the best seasons of his career, though.
Oh yeah.
I think my personal, I would say yes, he did deserve it just because Liverpool won the title by leaps and bounds.
Yeah, it wasn't even.
He's the captain, and he did really play very well this season.
Oh, he was exceptional all year, without a doubt.
So consistent, and people are going to look to say, De Bruyne had almost 20 assists this season, which is insane in itself. And talk about probably one of the best passers in the world, De Bruyne. But the fact that Liverpool won it by as much as they did in the way that, Hendo kind of commanded that midfield and probably the locker room too, I would assume.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
he seems to have total control of that team.
Well, I'd love to see what everyone has to say as far as Jordan Henderson being named Player of the Year. And also the other poll question was, do you think Watford will be relegated?
Well, I see we already had one answer from Eddie, so.
What did Eddie say?
He basically said Villa's got the best shot, which he's not wrong. In their opponent, obviously beating Arsenal last week. Watford's got the tough, of doing it again. And Bournemouth, he's right. You never know with Bournemouth. Bournemouth can come out and win 4-0, and both these teams lose and find a way to survive in typical Bournemouth form. But
if what Callum Wilson wants to show up tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, you liked my text I sent to you in that last Bournemouth game. Like, did Harry Wilson handball that, knowing that if they get relegated, he gets to go back to Liverpool?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a win-win.
Yeah, like he looked frustrated, but how upset really are you when, you're going to end up back at the best club, one of the best clubs in the entire world, and definitely the best club in England right now. So
that's going to be interesting because say Bournemouth miraculously stays up, I would assume they would just buy Harry Wilson.
You would think so, because you would think he'd have something to do with it if they find a way to do so. But
because Liverpool,
I think with Shaqiri,
they don't need him.
No, but see, Liverpool.
Look at all the youngsters Liverpool has. That
I know, but if I'm Liverpool, I want him back. He had a pretty good year to start the year. Shaqiri's most likely out. You're going to need somebody.
On what moves they like? Depends on who they get rid of, I guess, or want to. If they value the youngsters more than like a Bobby Blue Eyes or Shaqiri, then call him back. But obviously, if Bournemouth goes down, he'll be back. But I just see him going back out on loan next season. I don't know why I think that, but
yeah. Well, Lord Walker's watching, and he just chimed in. He's our Liverpool aficionado. So
there you go.
We'll see what maybe he feels on that subject. Mentioning, I saw he said Mane deserved it. But
which he was probably third, I would say, behind De Bruyne for it.
Yeah, I mean, he was your best scorer this year, but some of that, again, comes down to Hendo doing his thing. So,
and he did say, Lord Walker, that Hendo is the heart and soul of the team, and their win-loss percentage with him in the lineup and with him out is what gives him kind of the difference.
Oh, yeah, gave him that.
Which he is the difference maker, I would agree.
Well, yeah, when you have Firmino and Salah, too, Mane doesn't need to play every game for scoring, and there's always other options.
Yeah, I mean, and Mane had a great season, no doubt. I think him and De Bruyne are definitely.
I think he had a better year last year, though.
I would honestly put Raheem Sterling in that conversation too.
Quietly fantastic.
Nobody really had paid attention to him besides City fans, I would assume. Didn't he have almost 20 goals this year?
He had 25 in all comps. So almost 20.
And nobody's really talking about him. He just does this thing, and
I'm sure Liverpool fans would like to have him back now too.
Yeah, that would be a stupid lineup. But
I would love to do one time a what if show.
What if
Salah stayed with Chelsea? What if
De Bruyne stayed with Chelsea?
Yeah, like what if Salah and De Bruyne were both like they took the time and actually didn't give up, and
Mourinho didn't freaking ship him off after.
Yeah.
2
what
seconds?
If Serge Gnabry could score a damn goal for Arsenal as
what
opposed
if?
to being the best player in the fucking Bundesliga behind Lev?
What if Chelsea had Lukaku, Salah, and De Bruyne right now?
Yeah.
The world would be a different place.
We're going to do a what if show one day, I think. I like that.
Once
everything winds,
lull period, once Champions League kind of ends, we'll do a fun what if show.
I like it.
What if Virgil didn't go to? What if he's still at Southampton? And Mane, what if he is still at Southampton?
Yeah, and Shaqiri, and half of Liverpool was still at Southampton.
That's true. Southampton was just that team that just buys cheap and or promotes them through the academy.
They're basically like Liverpool's AA team or triple whatever. Yeah, if you want, they're like, oh, you got a good player.
The opposite way.
Maybe he'll be back. Maybe he'll be back.
Danny, he'll go to like Leeds or something. What? That'd be crazy.
Yeah, West Brom.
Yeah,
West Brom. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
That. I know.
We're not there yet. Let's go back to our Wolves-Chelsea game. Big implications.
Oh, yes. Wolves-Chelsea tomorrow. That is going to be, again.
That game's huge.
Back to the Kepa situation. Does Frank Lampard have the faith that he can put Kepa out there and not just throw Willy Caballero? I would wrestle with that thought if I'm Frank.
I mean, this is your life. Wolves need to win this game. Wolves are sitting in sixth place.
To get some sort of European football next year, I would assume.
They are only 1 point ahead of Spurs and 1 behind in the goal differential. And Spurs get to play Crystal Palace. So,
no offense to the Palace DC people, but they stink.
They've been dreadful as well lately. So you figure the likelihood of Spurs coming out with 3 points is big. That would put them in the 61, which means the Wolves can't even get a draw. A draw, pending a Spurs W, knocks them out. So they are playing for something very big. Chelsea is playing for something
they need
enormous.
To get Champions League because Kai Havertz has said, he's like, I 100% will come if they get Champions League spot, which you want to see that Chelsea team next year with all the additions that they've made be in Champions League and not in a Europa League position.
Yeah. Well, here's how it's going to happen. Chelsea needs to win.
Straight up.
Chelsea's got to win. A tie, it can still happen, but it's going to put them in a tough situation, although we might as well get into it. The biggest game tomorrow over your game, as huge as that game is, the biggest game tomorrow, Leicester United.
Yeah, I mean, United jumped Chelsea for third.
Right.
You might as well have United win.
United might. I mean, if you're a Chelsea fan, you want United to win. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are a United fan first tomorrow. You're a Chelsea fan second, because then that gives you the ability to even draw and still keep your Champions League spot.
Yeah.
Leicester, on the other hand, they need to win. They can draw. If Leicester draws and Chelsea loses, Leicester will take that fourth spot because they are plus 28 compared to Chelsea's plus 13.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that really hurts Chelsea, that goal differential is not exactly up to par with the teams that they're fighting with.
Yeah,
that spot.
so they that's why we come out and you got to win that game. You can't rely on getting a draw and hoping that Leicester and United do the same.
Right.
So, Leicester was in Champions League since what? This is their first time out since September, basically.
They've been there pretty much the whole season.
So, I
don't see them. They're tail spinning out of Champions League at this point. And I don't know who they're going to hold on to or who they're going to buy. Apparently, they want to buy William Carvalho, the good holding midfielder, Portuguese guy I would take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, out of La Liga.
Yeah, that dude does the dirty work. Not flashy, but he's one of those guys you can fit in your team, and he'll sit in front of your defense and pretty much break up the play.
Is he at Villarreal? Is that where he's at?
He was at Sporting, and then he went to, I think, Real Betis.
Okay. I was just going to
check really quick. William, I just looked him up too the other day.
Carvajal. Yeah, he might be. Yeah.
Real Betis. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then he's all right. I was just gonna kind of dog Villarreal for hiring Unai Emery. That was all.
I know. I was going to bring that up.
Say if he was there, he would want to get the hell out as soon as possible.
I figured I would wait until the world news to bring up that trash bag.
Yeah. Well, maybe he'll do all right back in Spain. That Martin Short-looking little prick.
He's the vampire Martin Short. From Transylvania. But Eddie agrees with the poll. Jordan Henderson has led Liverpool with his charisma on and off the field for sure. Good morning, Ted FX. How we doing?
What's up, broski?
Thanks for tuning in, my friend.
So if you can't get up for tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock and be excited to watch this sport, this league, these games, you don't have a pulse.
Exactly. You watch the Prem for tomorrow.
Yeah.
It builds up to this 38th week.
Yeah.
And it's the end-all, be-all because there's so much riding on the line in this sport, in the league, because of the relegation promotion thing.
Yeah, talk about, it's one thing to be playing for a title, but think about playing for your life. Like
literally.
You are playing for your opportunity to even be in the league. So from American sports perspectives and being the Philly market, imagine your beloved Philadelphia Eagles having to play a game the final week of the season, and if they lose, they go down to the XFL. That doesn't exist again anymore, but you get the point. Or they go to the CFL, or imagine the Phillies about to get sent down to AAA, and some team from Louisville's about to come up and take their spot because they weren't good enough this year.
That's basically what it comes down.
Yeah, this is beautiful. This is awesome. This is why this is the best game.
It is. The money is big because if you stay up, you keep those TV rights and whatever.
Yep.
You go down, you're losing all that beautiful money, and now you got to start selling players off. And again, like we said last week, with the Leeds situation, 16 years in between.
Yeah, you never know when you're
Prem
back.
And Championship. Again, that's the best part. We don't know if we're going to see Norwich in the next 10 years or not. You just never know. And then you could be relegated again.
Yeah, you could do the double.
Sliding down the table like Sunderland did.
Yeah. Sunderland is, you want to watch a good documentary, not to get off, but watch We Are Sunderland.
Oh.
Talk about a struggle as a sports fan. We think it's bad here. It's
that was a beautiful one. Season 2 got me because that was when they were in the championship or League One final last year against Charlton, but they lost.
Yeah.
And then they lost it's not the J Paint Trophy anymore, but it's basically like the FA Cup or it's basically like the Carabao Cup for the lower leagues.
Yeah.
And they lost that too. So it was just like, oh no. Heartbreaking.
Yeah. Tough.
Talk about a theme song that'll make you tear up every time you hear it.
So I'm thinking before we dive into the MLS, you want to stay in England now that this is all becoming very, very relevant, and
sure,
we have two teams coming back to the Prem that we know officially.
Yeah,
and then we got an exciting little tournament coming up in the next week here.
Yeah, it's one of those. If you're a fan of the Prem, it's that time to pay attention to the second division or the championship. Like we said last week, we got Leeds United won the league. They will be joining the Premier League next season. And then Wednesday, they had their Judgment Day. And we saw West Brom, which, if you're familiar and you've watched the Prem for the last whatever years, they were up, I believe, 3 years ago. Was their last time? 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think we're two. It's hard with this damn...
16 was their last season?
Yeah, so we're looking 16, 17. So it'll be 3 years by the start of next year. Yeah,
so Leeds, so the top two teams, we probably already laid this out, but the top two teams in the championship get automatic promotion to the Prem next year. So we're going to see Leeds and West Brom back. And their Judgment Day, again, I said, was on Wednesday. They go into a playoff now. So, this team.
So I'm pretty sure before Judgment Day, Adam basically said there was zero chance Nottingham Forest wouldn't.
I said their season is in their own hands. All they have to do is draw.
Yeah, there was
like 2 games.
There was a lot of choke jobs. Brentford was another one.
Choked.
Brentford could have got that guaranteed bid. West Brom drew their game. All Brentford had to do was beat show favorite Barnsley.
Barnsley stays up now, though.
Barnsley stays up. Barnsley.
They were terrible all season.
They needed that win. They got their win. They stay up. Brentford chokes. Brentford now is the number 1 seed in the little tournament. They will play Swansea.
And to put this into context, Nottingham Forest was in 5th place coming into Wednesday. All they needed was a draw, or even if they lost by less than 3 goals, they would still beat Swansea on goal differential, even if Swansea would win. So as you're watching, it's like, all right, 1-0 Stoke, 1-1, 2-1, and then you see Swansea, the guy gets a red card, so they're pouring the goals on. It's like 2-1, 3-1 second half, Swansea, then Stoke 3-1. It's like, if Swansea scores another goal and Forest lets up a goal, Swansea would get through on goal differential. And, of course, what happens? Swansea scores their 4th goal to make it 4-1. And then, of course, Forest gives up a 4th goal to lose 4-1. Swansea jumps them. The rest is history. And the tricky trees are done.
They gotta play at least one more year down there. Yes.
But yeah, that was my rant on my Forest boys.
They're so far removed from that big win against Arsenal about a calendar year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. But yeah, it's we got Swansea. The boys.
Swansea plays Brentford.
Yep, tomorrow.
Again, so for everybody who knows, it's a two legs. It's not a single leg. It's not a single elimination. You play it's a home and away. Mm-hmm. And they're pounding them out quick. Yes, that game's tomorrow. And then the second leg is the 29th. So, and then your other two Premier League,
very familiar.
Yes. Cardiff.
They both went down last season, right? Or
yeah, Cardiff. Cardiff was here, last year? 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Mm.
Fulham last year. So Cardiff, Fulham, they play each other. That is on the 27th and 30th. Those 2 legs.
Yep, Monday.
And those 4 teams will go down to 2, and one of them will be back up in the Prem. You got any predictions who you think is going to win this little tourney? Or not even a prediction, but maybe like do you have a preference out of the 4? I mean, Swansea has been back up in the Prem a couple years ago too.
Swansea. I think they've been playing the best out of. I think Brentford's going to shit the bed.
Yeah, I mean they
were hot after the restart, and then all of a sudden the last like 2-3 weeks have kind of been like taking their foot off the gas, and it's cost them. And now that you gotta go to Wales the first leg, and you just hope you keep this Ryan Brewster kid on Swansea's sick.
Yeah,
I don't know how old he is, but
they got some players
can score some goals.
They got some players.
They still have Angel Rangel.
Yeah.
He was on Swansea when they were up in the Prem like 4 years ago.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I mean, some of these guys, when a team goes down, the whole team doesn't disappear. I mean, there might be some big money guys that are in contract situations where they can afford to get moved or loaned out. But some of these guys, I mean, they got to stay with their team and they got to play in the lower league. So
you just hope you can get back.
Yeah. I mean, look at Fulham. I mean, I guess out of the 4 as a US guy, I kind of would hope and pray Fulham makes it back because Fulham generally puts a little bit of US love into their roster one way or another. They're a good development team for US guys too. So to keep the US and Prem a little relevant together, I guess Fulham's kind of the go-to, the root for, but I don't know. I like Cardiff.
Yeah. I mean we could see an all Welsh final.
Yeah.
Swansea Cardiff.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I don't know. I think Fulham might have the upper hand just because they were in the league last year and they still have Mitrovic, who's an absolute psycho out there.
Yeah, they still got some talent on that team. So
and Scotty Parker, I love Scotty Parker. He's a good manager. He was a pretty good player too there for a while.
Yeah.
And Slaven Bilic is remember Slaven Bilic? I forget what team he coached. But he's the West Brom manager now.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But yeah, that should be fun. I don't know. I'd love to see Swansea back. I think that would be the best case. But hey, we got some love for some Fulham boys too.
Yeah, I mean, that would be an awesome story too. Getting in the way they did on the final day and then to take the tournament and get back. Yeah, to get back in. The only unfortunate thing is usually when that happens, you have a team that pulls a Norwich this year.
Yeah.
And, you know, it becomes a gift for a lot of Prem teams when they get to play that squad the following year.
And some of those guys, you know, they might be able to sneak up on you in the championship, but, you know, the Ryan Brewster is not going to be – he's going to be on probably some people's radars to try and snatch him away.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So that's the other thing. But, yeah, that should be fun and a fun little race to promotion. Lord Walker, what does he got to say? Havertz to Chelsea will be nauseating. Despite winning and harvesting young talent, making big ticket transfers is necessary to, you got to spend the money to be good, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, look at City spending too much money, and look at them. They're
apparently not
great. Liverpool spent some cash money. Chelsea, the only reason they didn't do it this past window is because they had a ban, which was kind of a blessing in disguise because it kind of forced Chelsea to play the youngsters, right?
Yeah.
You didn't really have any options. And now the ban's lifted and Roman Abramovich, the owner, is opening up that oil money he's got just stashed in his house and just throwing it out there.
Just swimming in gold coins like Scrooge McDuck.
Exactly. I mean, if they can grab Havertz, you know, Hakim Ziyech, and Timo Werner, and get a goalie.
Or a defender.
I prefer defender somewhere, but hey, Let's keep it between the lines. But again, apparently you can go over the line and not get penalized.
Yeah, just pay the stupid fine. So, hey, Cronky, you paying attention?
Yeah.
Spend the money. There's no fines.
Stanley.
Oh, there's been more and more push for him out. So I love it.
Eventually.
Oh,
Eddie, Chelsea has a bit of an advantage because Leicester, Man United. Yep. Again, if you're a Chelsea fan, you got to be rooting for United to come through, which is looking more and more likely because Leicester has not looked very good.
Yeah.
What else?
He wants Brentford.
He wants Brentford. They are sort of like a Sheffield, kind of like a very small club. They're actually getting a new stadium next year too, Brentford. So that would be quite the present to get your first appearance in the Prem plus a new stadium.
Well, then you should have showed up against Barnsley.
You should have showed up 2 weeks in a row where you could have wrapped it up.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted that second spot.
Yeah. It was just like once Leeds took the reins, it was like everybody was like, do we really want to go play in the Prem? Or we're kind of comfortable here. It's kind of a nice fit for us. Yeah, we're winning.
They saw what happened in Norwich. They're like, oh, no.
Yeah. Do we really want to play Liverpool twice a year?
The league's only getting better. But, yeah, I mean, Brentford would be a fun story for sure.
Absolutely.
Smallest club out of the four.
Yes.
But I don't know. It'll be fun. It's always good. The playoffs are always a crapshoot to see. I mean, Leeds was in the same spot last year that Brentford's in. Everybody thought Brentford was Leeds last season was just going to walk right through the Prem as the 3 seed because they were so dominant. Yeah. And then they lost to Derby County. Frankie Lamp's Derby County last year.
Yeah.
Upset them.
Without Wayne Rooney.
Without Rooney, but with Mason Mount and Tamori.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
Very true. Very true.
But yeah.
2 guys that started off great that had a tough finish. But
yeah. And you could say that Tammy basically got Villa up last year. So
yeah. So they were team promotion this year. Chelsea.
Yeah, thank you for getting those teams sort of.
We're going to take all your best players. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, MLS
time.
MLS
time.
MLS restart. We're in there. We're in the knockout stages. We got 16 teams left. Which
they aren't one of them.
He's been waiting to go off. Go off, King. Go off.
If I had a plate, I'd have to go outside with my BB gun, and I'd have to hunt down a crow off my back fence, and I'd have to shoot it, and I'd have to eat it.
Eat that crow, dog.
Because, again, I am man enough to admit when I was wrong, and maybe Yapstam, the guy has some pedigree. Maybe he has this team playing a little bit more in the right direction.
We'll find out.
Where my idiot, no talent, no formation, no knowledge of what players he has, no push, no drive coach, just continues to get work.
Didn't they fire him last year?
Dude, you and I both swore after that debacle against the Union.
You would have thought he got canned.
You blow a 3-1 lead on the road in a playoff game to a team that's never won in the playoffs, and you keep your job. After the season before when you took over for the great Jesse Marsh, a team that should have easily won the championship, that came and won the Supporters' Shield, that should have handled Atlanta, and you go to Atlanta and you lose 3-0, and you get knocked out in the Eastern Conference Finals. You've shown me nothing of an ability to take those players and the talent you have and take them to the next level. Now you're in a. I don't even know what to do. I don't know what to do. You have a team like Red Bull with all the financial support in the world, with, a market where, so be it, we play in New Jersey. It's still the New York market. It still had great players come and play in that, the history of that team. They're one of the originals dating back to the Metro Stars from, the beginning of MLS. And this is the product you put on the field. You play a game against Columbus where you play 110 minutes and you don't record a shot on goal. And then you play one of the worst teams in the entire sport. And you lose 2-0.
The worst team.
2-0 to FC Cincinnati with your opportunity. All you had to do was win or draw, and you go on to the round of 16, and that's the performance you put on the field.
I love it.
That's why you have the big orange X today. And it is not over the American flag. I did not put it over the American flag. Let's be clear here. Make sure I went around that before someone pops off about that.
Oh, God forbid.
But I just don't know anymore, man. I don't know. I voiced my frustration going back a year now after that loss. I voiced my frustration in the offseason when you signed absolutely nobody.
Yeah, you didn't make any moves at all.
I mean, Jason Pendant looked great in the first game. He retweets my tweet congratulating him on a great debut. And then the guy gets burned the last 2 games. I mean, so you didn't replace Kamar Lawrence.
Nope.
David Jensen looks like an absolute disaster in goal. Again, I gave him credit after the first game. Big Dumbo
out there.
He looks like a big doof. He needs to shave that mustache. He can't stop the damn ball from going in. Just looks so lost in his own box. So you didn't replace Robles.
No, you didn't.
You're trying to put Danny Royer out of position. Again, Chris Armas. Danny Royer's a left winger. He shined as a left winger. Now you're going to put him up as a left forward, and you're going to pair him with Florian Vallo. Well, yeah. Well, Vallo looked great in a midfielder role, and then you take him out of it for the last 2 games, and you can't score.
Imagine.
You bring Tom Barlow in the last 15 minutes to, give you that boost. Ooh, Tom Barlow, he's giving me that boost I need.
He's going to scare a lot of guys out there, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Barlow.
Yeah. Big, University of Wisconsin? Oh, yeah, he was a top soccer prospect in this country.
Shout out Badgers.
God.
Tom Barlow, come on.
Brian White? Now they're linked to the kid from Ghana who's playing in Bundesliga 2. They need a striker. Oh, awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Alex Mule.
Amro Tarek?
He stinks.
He can't even stay on an MLS club, and that's your signing?
He stinks.
You kept Aaron Long way past his value now. Now you're not getting anything from him. You should have sold him to Southampton or anybody else, Leverkusen, or somebody who came calling for him. Take your $4 to $7 million, but you overvalued him, and now he doesn't even look interested.
No, he's looked a little sketch.
Tim Parker looks like he forgot how to play the game.
Where's Robchinski?
He doesn't even get in. He was the only bright spot. He played the last 10 minutes in Cincinnati, and he looked like the only guy who wanted to play on that field.
Oh, my goodness. Thank God I'm not in your shoes with this club.
Ralphie, remember this. We're right at that hours part. We need that clip. Because
that 4 or 5 minute...
It's going on Red Bull's Twitter. It's going on any MLS page that I'm not kicked off of.
I'm just going to post this on the one you got kicked off on, and they're going to go off on you.
Oh, please do. Let them enjoy it. Big ups to you guys. Big credit. You stuck with me. You battled with me. You fought back. Half of you can't, keep an argument, but the other half of you, There's a couple, I give a little bit of respect to. Big ups to Cincinnati. They'll be out in the next round, but
so I mentioned that I went in that group that you got kicked out of.
Yeah.
I just said I know Mr. Wheeler, so if you have any messages for him, I'll relay it back to him. First, it started out with this Stephen Rickey guy, FC Cincinnati, I believe, supporter. He was like, man, where's that Red Bull fan that used to fucking troll the hell out of us? Where did he go? This would be hilarious to see his reactions during this game.
They kicked me out a week early.
And then he basically was like, no, I don't have anything to say to that guy. He's like, it's tough being a Cincinnati sports fan. We go through our trials and tribulations enough. I don't need to waste my breath on him, basically. What is the other one? The other one said, tell him he needs to something about a welfare check.
Oh. Racist Cincinnati. Who was that? Who did they have a name? Was it Emon? Was it Dan Blumfield?
Sean Howell. Sean Howell.
Sean Howell. Good. Yeah. Good old Sean Howell.
You know Shawnee?
Oh, yeah. Where's Stella? Where's Stella? Stella didn't come in and chirp.
You got Anthony Toms. He was one of those guys. Andy Benbehana.
So all the ones who really wanted to come at me don't have anything to say.
I just said, yeah, it's karma for him talking shit. They lost. And then Anthony agreed and said, yes.
Oh, yeah. It's absolute karma.
Everyone was pretty well behaved, though. They didn't want to go off on you. Yeah, they just asked why you left or why you got booted. I said, because he trolled Cincinnati fans relentlessly.
Yeah, and the admins were getting tired of me getting reported for...
Oh, every day was like, oh, shit, Cincinnati.
It still is Cincinnati. Don't give him the S. It's Cincinnati. Cincinnati.
But yes, they were well behaved. They didn't say anything crazy.
No surprise there.
I just said I think we can all agree that, F the pink cows, and everybody agreed.
Well, the funny thing is, at the end of the day, when the season resumes, I believe August 22nd, and these points that were accumulated in this tournament go towards that. When it really comes down to the end of the day, I think we all know where they're going to finish.
I would assume that this might just be a flash in the pan. I don't know.
But Red Bull's trash. Red Bull's trash. The organization right now is trash. I'm getting really over it. And like we said, we're going to get right into this tournament breakdown now that my rant's over. And maybe the Union could play for my fandom.
This is big stuff. But so maybe we don't want your...
maybe you don't after the Bournemouth.
Your jinxing stuff. Come on, man. You jinx Bournemouth. Don't you dare bring that shit on my team. We're actually playing well. We were in your position at one time with a clueless leader as our sporting director. Trust me, been there.
I know, but you were a new up-and-coming team, and that happens. You weren't, you weren't supposed to be a storied franchise, that's been around since day one, that's had the likes of, some greats playing for them.
We had our sporting director was a guy who didn't know anything about soccer.
I know.
He put the Tampa Bay Mutiny into non-existence. And now he's the commissioner of the Major League Lacrosse.
Yes.
He knew nothing about soccer. He was a dumbass.
Yeah. Well,
those days are gone, and now don't bring that negative energy over on our side.
Austin FC it is.
Yeah, you could be an Austin
I'm
FC.
not moving to Texas now, so it's not happening. Austin FC's out of the...
Oh, man.
All right.
But, we could start actually at the top of... We'll go down some of these matchups.
Yes.
We got
game number 1 tonight.
Big Union game tonight. 10:30 against the Revs. So we're looking at a little Super Bowl. I saw a little jawing between some of the Revs and Union fans.
Yeah, Philly, New England, back again.
It's like this new rivalry or something.
Come on, Philly people. If you can't get up for this game.
Just a quick thought. We've played the Revs pretty well the past 3 or 4 years, so I'm hoping that continues. I know they have Bruce Arena was jawing away his stupid fucking ass. I can't stand that guy. He was saying that, Phillies, their style isn't anything new to this league, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, shut up and worry about your own damn team. Try qualifying for the World Cup for once, you dumbass.
I hate Bruce Arena more than I hate FC Cincinnati.
I could go down to Florida and risk the virus and punch that man in the fucking jaw. God, I hate him. But anyway, yes, all my Philly people out there, definitely one to watch because I know now that the Sixers are playing. We got the Phillies playing early, so
they got a 4:00 game today. There's no reason you can't watch this game tonight. 10:30 p.m. on the
ESPN 2. So have that on the big screen and have Andy's show in this very ring on your laptop.
Yes, or however you want to do it. You want to watch the Union on your laptop and put Andy on the big screen and see that beautiful face. Go for it.
I mean, I would. But yeah, so my prediction, I'm not being a biased homer. I do think that the Union have played well enough, and Andre Blake has probably looked the best goalie in the tournament. Again,
he's
non-biased.
He's back to the form that you would expect Andre.
He saved us in at least 2 of the games we could have probably lost. So
absolutely,
I think we skate by with maybe like a 2-1 win. So
I hope so because I got him in 3 parlays on FanDuel. So.
Oh, the money's on the line.
Yeah.
Big ups.
Yeah. So, and your early game, the 8 p.m. game, is Orlando-Montreal.
The surprise of the tournament, I'd say. Again,
Orlando surprises the tournament, and Montreal squeaks in because my shit team couldn't do what they needed to do. So, Montreal, a team that lost 2 games in this tournament, still found a way to get in.
And I forgot they got Victor Wanyama. For all the Spurs and Southampton people out there, if you recall that gentleman.
One of the biggest names in MLS that nobody even talks about.
He was a beast there for a while, and then Henry's got him playing center back.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, he was a center defending midfielder at his last stint with Spurs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Henry's probably put him in his weakest position. Well, in Henry's team's weakest position to where he needed a guy to really hold down that defense.
And again, Henry, incredible player. Just an all-time player. But as a coach, I just don't think he's got the chops.
I mean, right now, yeah, he's struggled as
he did make it at Monaco. Obviously, everyone struggles at Monaco.
But yeah, let's not put that red flag on him because look at what's happening at Monaco right now.
Coaching carousels
and just falling apart. So,
but I don't know.
I do have Orlando winning. I have Orlando staying hot. They're the quote unquote home team in this. They look good. Again, they have the most decorated player as far as the MLS goes in Nani. They have this kid Mueller who's playing out of their mind. They have the new goalie in Gacelis.
The Brazilian kid.
Yeah, who's looked, he struggled in the first game, but he's looked really good in the last 2. So yeah, I got Orlando moving on in this one.
And guess what? They sat Dom Dwyer down. Against the Union.
Just saying.
Make that change.
The guy's just a bully with no soccer skills.
You're a bully.
You're a bully, Dom.
Beautiful, but you're a bully.
Yeah. Elbower. He likes to put elbows in people's back instead of using his feet.
That guy is an embellishment guy anyway. That guy crushed the throat of. He was on the field like the next day. He's fine.
Whatever.
He didn't even go to the hospital.
Dom Dwyer can't even make the U.S.
And they got sent off against the Union anyway.
Dom Dwyer can't make a U.S. team with Berhalter as the coach. What does that tell you?
True. His prime is past him. Yeah. He's got too many kids at home to freaking worry about that.
Yeah. So that's tonight. Tomorrow, you got Toronto, New York. Another big one.
It's a good one, but NYCFC, again, one of those teams that
got lucky to get in.
Not good.
No.
With the roster that they have is great.
Although being a few changes.
Yeah.
But
well, the thing is, they're not playing on a goddamn baseball field anymore.
Yeah, that was their only advantage.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah. And Toronto's just class, man. Toronto's a good team.
Dude, they got Nacho Piatti, too.
Yeah.
From Montreal with Pozuelo.
Yeah, they got Piatti playing the right side now.
Like, come on.
Yeah, that team's good. I mean, they're older.
Michael Bradley looks terrible. He looks a step slow.
Well, dude, he's 36 years. It's time.
He's like 34.
This has to be it. This has to be the swan song. If they would have won the title over Seattle last year, he would have walked away.
Probably.
But unfortunately, they didn't, so he's got to hang around another year.
He just looks so slow out there. He made a tactical foul that he got turned like a motherfucker. I'm like, ooh.
He'll end up at LAFC anyway.
That was stupid, Dad.
Yeah.
He's another one.
Yeah,
you can see a pattern here. All the old U.S. men's national team coaches, you just don't like.
Yeah, there's no nepotism in MLS, is there?
It's bad when Jurgen Klinsmann is your favorite coach of the last whatever.
Oh, my God.
He at least took us to at least, a knockout stage and stood toe-to-toe with a Belgian powerhouse.
Yeah.
I shook his hand once, too.
Oh, did you wash it after?
Probably.
You have to. Well, you have to now.
Because I was in Philly. You never know what's going down in Market Street, but yeah.
True. So just bring back Jesse.
But yeah, I think Toronto gets by.
I think Toronto gets by as well. Sunday night, weird slotted 11 p.m. game. These non-ESPN games are an extra half hour later. So you got KC Vancouver.
Two
I'd say
teams better, but
KC all day.
I would say KC as well. And Alan Polito hasn't even really scored.
Yeah. So for our Vancouver fan, Dan, I don't see it happening, buddy.
I don't know. They haven't looked too good.
No, they haven't. Monday, you got San Jose versus Real Salt Lake.
Ooh.
And then the one I'm really looking forward to Monday night is Seattle LAFC.
I think LAFC has looked the best team, even without Vela. I think they've scored like 11 goals in 3 games or something like that.
Yeah, well, they did have that 6-goal hammering in the
a team that looks terrible.
Yeah,
the Galaxy.
And now Chicharito's dead. So
poor guy. He's out of the bubble.
Yeah, so I would probably say San Jose, and it's hard to bet against the reigning champs, but most likely San Jose LAFC. You never know with Seattle, though. You never know with Seattle.
I know. Seattle, and they have a great team.
They do.
I put them up again. Did they beat LAFC last year in the Western Conference Final?
They sure did.
So
yeah,
is it payback or no?
That should be an exciting game. And then we rounded out Tuesday. You got what I thought was the surprise of the tournament. Not a surprise because I did pick them to come out of that group, but surprising how well they played was Columbus.
They've looked one of the better teams.
Yes, and they will be playing Minnesota. The only fear for Columbus fans in this one is that Minnesota's back healthy now. Ozzie Alonso's back.
Mm-hmm.
And there could be an Ike possibility.
He might make his return.
I don't know if it's going to be by this game, but they said there is. If they were able to advance to this stage, there is a small possibility that he could be returning. So that should be what I think one of the better games out of this round of 16, Columbus and Minnesota. And then you got Portland and Cincinnati. So
Portland all day.
I mean, you would assume so, but hey, you never know. This team, I might have fired them up. My face could be up in the locker room. Who knows?
You might. I wouldn't doubt it. Be like,
I could be straight locker room material.
This guy's talking hella shit.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Again, the thing is,
it's hard. You didn't think that the Red Bull wouldn't come out of that group. You didn't think New York City FC would struggle as much as they did. Fucking
Yeah.
Atlanta, look at them. They fired their coach.
Yeah,
We
bum.
didn't even talk about that. Frank de Boer out.
He's out. That team is, unfortunately, that team was and is Joseph Martinez.
Without him. And they've traded Julian Gressel.
Yeah, and Pity Martinez just is not living up to the hype without Joseph. So without his buddy there, he's not handling it.
Him and Barco are.
I thought with having one of the better goalkeepers in the tournament, that was going to give Atlanta a little bit of an edge, and Guzan just couldn't do enough.
I just don't think that they were very motivated under De Boer. Even last year, remember they started out terrible?
Yeah.
And then at the end, they kind of came on. But again, you're missing a guy that probably shouldn't even be in the league. He's probably better than that.
Yeah,
Joseph Martinez.
He's probably. I think this is just showing how good he really is without him on that team.
Like he's like Almiron quality.
Yeah,
and we saw what he's doing. So
yeah, I think he's probably on his way out. So
he's only like 26.
Yeah, he should be given an opportunity by a club in the top 5 leagues to see if he can go and score there, because he's of that quality, definitely.
Yeah, it's just some of the big teams that you thought that were going to easily just walk through this tournament have bowed out or haven't looked really good at all.
Yeah, yeah. So
what we kind of figured, because you just never knew what we were going to get when all these teams were coming back after 3-month layoff, you know?
Yeah, it's a weird little tournament. I mean, I've never seen a situation, and obviously you have to adapt with what's going on in the world, but it's a tournament for a trophy, but it's also playing into the regular season, because all points that were gathered or not gathered in this are being added to your regular season totals.
Now, do the knockout stages go towards? It was just the group stage.
It was just the group stages. Yep.
That makes sense.
And any of those games were played will then, I guess, be removed out of the remaining schedule. So Red Bull had played 2 already now with Cincinnati prior to the pandemic, and now in this. So I don't think they'll meet again this season. So our little battle is pretty much dead in the water for now.
Damn it.
But
yeah, that's another story to, I guess, look at to see what it's going to look like once the tournament's over. If some of these, obviously every state's different, so I think the NFL is going to be dealing with this too. I saw Atlanta, the Falcons are allowing like 20,000 people at their home games. But then the city of Philadelphia said, we don't want people at Eagles games. So I
think these leagues are going to have to step in and
the MLS has
make
to
it
get
yes
together.
or no.
Because you can't have that advantage of having people at one game and then people not at another site. It just
and
make
you're going to have
unified. Have a leader, do something about it.
Yeah, and you're going to have teams like Toronto who are going to run into the baseball situation where they're not going to be able to travel. Yeah, they're going to have to find a home in Buffalo, like the Blue Jays.
play on their outfield like the stupid.
Yeah, but you also have Vancouver in this league. You have
a little more Canadian.
You have Montreal, so you have a lot more Canadian influence there. So they got to figure out how this is going to happen. So big up to our Canadians, my man Wilder. What up, bro? I gave him a little love on A2D this morning.
Love to see it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's our round of 16 in the MLS. We won't get too heavy into it. I'm looking to see what's going to happen. I obviously, have a little rooting interest in Union just for my brother, and our home fan base here. Other than that, I'd like to see NYFC get their ass out. I'd like to see Cincinnati get out as soon as possible.
I'm just going to record a message from you, and once Cincinnati gets out this match coming up, I'll just put it in the
that's
in
fine.
the group.
We could do that.
Almost like a V for Vendetta. You're like the man I just play that message to the masses, and then I'll probably get kicked out of that group then.
Well, there are such thing as burner accounts, and I might find my way back in. I'll call Colangelo up and ask for a little help on how to do that.
and his
and
big
his wife.
collars.
And his wife. I'll have Colangelo's wife run my MLS burner account.
Oh, she did so well.
Yes. So we got about 5 minutes left. You have anything on the world news you want to talk about? I have a couple things I was just going to mention.
World
nothing crazy.
Circuit, nothing too crazy. I mean, I saw this morning that Kingsley Coman possibly to United.
That could be an interesting move.
If this Jadon Sancho thing falls through for United, that's kind of their backup plan, which I think would be solid because I like Kingsley and I want him gone anyway.
Well,
from
he's
Bayern.
expendable with Sané there now. So
true. So very true. It could happen.
Yes, it could happen.
Other than that, La Liga is wrapped up. Juve pretty much has that under control.
They can clinch it tomorrow with a dub.
That
was in my Liga MX came back last night. If anybody cares,
I
Club
saw
Tijuana,
that.
Cholos
are back.
They play tonight, 10:00 against Atlas. If anybody wants to tune in and watch the Cholos
on Univision,
as my new buddy Dan said. I said, who do you root for in Liga MX? I said, I root for Tijuana. He goes, I root for whoever the cartel tells me to root for. So Tijuana is that team.
Gun to his head. He's got to root for.
Yes. The Australian A-League came to a conclusion with Sydney winning the Premier Plate.
Oh, that's good. Sydney.
So,
are they the Swans in that league?
I don't honestly know.
that might be Australian rules football, the Sydney Swans.
Yes, but they took the Premier Plate, which is the title in that league.
I think the Chinese league is back too this weekend.
Chinese league is back. Dan wanted me to mention that. He's a big Chinese league fan.
Shanghai Shenhua.
Yes, it's about the only Chinese league team most people know. They buy all the people that all the cast-offs. Iniesta went over there to end his career and.
In world news, kind of piggybacking off Real Madrid, apparently Gareth Bale's just going to play out his 2 years left of his contract, his agent said.
Yeah.
Why?
It's a nightmare. Because why not?
Falling asleep on the bench.
Because he's gonna take all that money, and he's gonna go play a lot of golf and get to live in Spain.
Let the man free. Jesus Christ.
I don't think he cares.
He doesn't.
Did you even see him during the trophy celebration? He was kind of off in the corner. Like, ooh, got a dub.
They're like, ole, champion.
He's like, awesome.
I don't even feel part of this damn team. Yeah, he's a clown. Sorry.
Let's see. No, it's okay. What else do I got left? Swiss Super League's coming to a close. If anybody cares about them.
I saw the battle of Malmo and Hemarbe.
Yes.
Were yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, and you got two teams really vying for that top spot with 3 weeks left. You got St. Gallen in second, and then you got Young Boys in first.
Oh, I love the Young Boys.
Oh, yeah. See, there it is. There it is. I had a great conversation with somebody about that. If you're not talking Swiss Super League football and you say that statement, you got to watch a whole different ball game. I said that exact thing in a text. I was like, man, I really love Young Boys. And he was like, dude, you got to watch how you phrase that. So
in context, you got to put that into context.
Swiss Super League, I really love.
The football club, Young Boys.
The football club, Young Boys. But they are in first, and they have a good chance to finish that out. They actually, the final week of the season, they play St. Gallen. So that could be
Judgment Day
for the championship. They have three games left over 2 weeks span. Russian Super League just came to a final as well. Zenit and Lokomotiv. Of course, it's always Zenit and Lokomotiv got the Champions League spots.
Zenit usually is.
Yes, and Zenit, Dan also wanted me to mention that Zenit is playing for the Russian Cup today. That is today.
Excellent. I love some Russian soccer.
Yeah, some good Russian soccer.
Fucking hooligans.
Hey, they're always competitive though in Champions Leagues and in Locomotive. They always put.
They have the best Russian
there.
players, and they'll Ivanovic, the old Chelsea defender, on Zenit.
Yeah. So they get some players. So that's all I got in the world news.
Yeah,
I think we're coming to an end here.
I just had a 1 yellow card to Watford because I'm kind of sick of their shit, and they put out terrible performance, and they're a joke of having 5 coaches in one season. But I'm going to get a Hayden Mullins tattoo in honor of this treacherous season.
If they don't go down and they name him the main coach, I think you have to do that.
I will do that.
You know what? I'll keep my yellow for them, being that they wear yellow. So let's keep my yellow there. And my red card goes to my red team. Shitty ass New York Red Bull, letting me down, making me eat crow, losing to FC Cincinnati, getting knocked out of the tournament. It is just sad to be a Red fan right now.
Well, I'll stick with that and say these sons of bitches fucking get a big old red card for choking.
Yes.
Reggie Miller.
Hey, come on. I'm a Knicks fan now.
Oh, yeah. Bad memories. Don't stir up Reggie, Spike. But anyway.
All right, everybody.
Thanks again for watching. It's been a fun episode of Brian going off the rails, per usual. It's always a laugh. But again, thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you next week. Love you.
Love you guys. Later.